At this hour, several developing stories that we are following here at 4. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem fired today. Her comments as the president moves quickly now to name her successor. Also, Israel's main airport reopening as thousands of Americans are still struggling to get out of the Middle East, and another U.S. embassy is closing down. We'll bring you the very latest from that area of the world. Also, after the flooding fallout this morning, another WFAA weather alert day for tomorrow with severe storms possible once again. We have road conditions and radar and the forecast all straight ahead. Welcome to the news here at 4 o'clock today, everybody. I'm Jason Wheeler. Let's get right to that developing story out of D.C. to start things off here. A major shakeup in the Trump administration today. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem out now after mounting criticism about her leadership of the department, especially after the deadly shootings of 2 American citizens by immigration agents. And her department remains shut down still today. It is day 20, in fact, of that shutdown, with many employees working without pay. President Trump announced the news about 12:30 our time today on social media, saying that he plans to make Noem a, quote, special envoy for the Shield of the Americas, which is a new security initiative in the Western Hemisphere he's announcing. The president says he will nominate Oklahoma Republican Senator Markwayne Mullin as the new Homeland Security Secretary. Mullin needs to be confirmed by the Senate still, but he can serve as acting secretary until that happens. We'll continue to follow that for new developments there. This afternoon, the Austin Police Department released body cam footage from Sunday's mass shooting on 6th Street. And before we get into this video, we want to warn you, this is difficult to watch. It includes the shooter here, Indiaga Diagne, attacking passersby, and it shows the police effort that took him down.
Go! Everybody go! 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 Where is he?
Just harrowing moments there on 6th Street in Austin. The next clip we're going to show you here is police shooting the suspect after they say he began firing a semi-automatic pistol. Part of the graphic video here is blurred.
Where is he? Where is he? Who shot? Shots fired! Shots fired! The suspect is down! Stop moving! Stop moving! Don't move! Don't move! I'm on the suspect! Move here now! I'm on the 6th and west!
All of that unfolding in a busy entertainment district. Imagine being one of those people we saw running to get out of harm's way there. At a news conference today, police in Austin said 19 people were shot by that shooter. 3 of them have died. You see them there on your screen, all of them young. 2 victims remain in remain in local hospitals. 1 of them is still in critical condition. The suspect was killed. Police say he had only had 1 previous interaction with law enforcement, a welfare check, because of concerns over his mental health. All right, let's bring it back here to North Texas now this afternoon. We have been in an unstable weather pattern, which we get when we get into these spring months. And we have already seen some flooding across North Texas, I guess particularly to the southeast Kaufman County area.
Yeah, we had some flooding in southern Dallas County. We had some in Kaufman and Van Zant counties. We had some pretty heavy rain last night.
Yeah, Luke Clary, in fact, was out there in Kaufman County. You know what the roads have been like, Stacia, and he brought us this report. Let's look at that real quick.
The rain brought some localized flash flooding to areas across the Metroplex, including right here on US 80. This is just outside of Sunnyvale, a large pond there, in part because we believe the drainage grate was impacted with mud and other debris. There was a really large pond here, and you can still see one of the at least 3 vehicles that got stuck in it. One driver told us that she didn't feel like she got enough warning. I spoke earlier today to a professor at the University of North Texas who says that urbanization can contribute to flash flooding conditions. He also said that drivers should get more advanced warning about conditions like these.
Yes, definitely. There's a missing gap here, I think. We got a camera, we detect that, but that right, didn't trigger a warning. Yeah, definitely there's a gap.
Tonight we'll have more from Dr. Pan and a response from TxDOT. That's coming up tonight at 6. In Sunnyvale, I'm Luke Clary.
Man, Stacia, those construction zones in particular can be so dangerous when we get big downpours like that.
Definitely so, because you also have to keep in mind, you have all of that debris that goes along with the construction, the mud. They've been working on that stretch of 80 through 40 in Kaufman County for years. You only have 2 lanes to begin with. So I always feel like just the slightest mishap can really mess things up there. Yesterday, it was the rain.
Boy, and when one of those drains gets clogged, it doesn't take any time at all because you've got those retaining walls in some cases that are sort of holding that water in. All right, we'll look at traffic here in just a moment, see how things are out there right now when we're getting into rush hour here. First, though, Jesse, we have another weather alert day tomorrow.
We do, and Saturday. So we're going to start with that, a WFAA weather alert in place for both days. Friday, especially the afternoon and evening. Saturday, mainly for the morning, and that's because we'll have on and off heavy rain, some thunderstorms, some up to quarter-size hail, and there could be a couple instances of larger hail than that, and we'll talk about that. 50-plus mile-per-hour winds. Now, this is in the strongest thunderstorm activity. It's not as widespread, so Friday we'll have a chance for thunderstorms. Those storms will not be as widespread as we saw last night, but the thunderstorms that do pop, if they can get going, could be a little bit more intense. So stay updated on the forecast. Make sure you adjust outdoor plans as necessary as we get into Saturday morning. More rain is on the way, and have WFAA Plus downloaded to your TV. We have mostly cloudy skies and a couple little sprinkles falling across. You might run into those if you're driving today, a couple little sprinkles on the windshield, and that's it. As we go through tonight, the thunderstorm activity stays out west. So overnight's quiet, but then we get into Friday. That's when we start tracking our next chance for strong to severe thunderstorms. It's a level 2 slight risk for much of North Texas for some large hail, damaging winds, and a low tornado risk. We'll talk more about that in just a moment, but first, Stacia with an update on traffic.
All right, thanks, Jesse. And we're just starting with a live look. This is out in Kaufman County. So this is just to the east of the area in Forney where they had to shut down a portion of US 80. Late last night, early this morning. It really caught people on their morning commute this morning. And it was like that till about 8 o'clock, till they were able to clear that drain this morning. What we're watching is look at all this water that's still along the service road here along 80 at Helms. We are also watching some emergency road work in that area. So the stretch of red, there was an accident there along 20, that cleared, so you don't have to worry about that. But spur 557 eastbound at US 80. So again, this is just to the east of Forney. You have emergency road work going on there, just down to 1 lane as a result of the situation we were dealing with the weather. Just a lot of problems with that stretch of 80 out there in Kaufman County. Now I have another issue I want to show you. Hopefully I can get this camera. This is 635 eastbound at D&T, the Dallas North Tollway, watching a major backup there. Here's a look at the slowdown as a result of a collision that happened just about 45 minutes ago. You can see it is backed up almost all the way to the 635 I-35E intersection. So those are the areas we're watching right now. Again, if you are just getting ready to head out, things are looking good along 635 at TI Boulevard. We had a stalled vehicle there closer to the high 5. But south of that, Mesquite, roadwork still slowing things down on the southbound side, 635 at Town Center. Jason?
All right, Stacia, thank you. We've got new developments today in the Middle East as the joint U.S.-Israeli operation against Iran continues to expand. The State Department just announcing that it is closing the U.S. Embassy in Kuwait as well after retaliatory strikes by Iran. So far, Iran has now hit 12 countries in that region. Thousands of Americans are still stranded in many parts of the Middle East and are struggling to escape. Israel reopened its main airport to incoming flights earlier today. That could help with some of that. The U.S. Embassy in Israel is also offering bus service now to the Egyptian border for Americans who are desperate to get out. Thousands of Americans are currently stuck there in the Middle East because of those attacks on Iran, including a man from Houston. Our sister station, KHOU-TV, spoke with his wife, who is desperate to get him home safely.
As tensions escalate following U.S. and Israeli airstrikes in Iran, thousands of Americans are caught in the crossfire.
It just doesn't feel real.
Including Sean Starkey of Fulshire, his wife Jennifer telling me he is in Qatar for his first international work trip, and over the last few days the situation has deteriorated quickly as Iran has launched retaliatory strikes towards the U.S. military base in Qatar.
When it first happened, he was in a building that shook. He was that close. So, and then there was another interception at that point, and then they evacuated the area. Since then, he's been hearing stuff nonstop. The interceptions of the drones and missiles.
The U.S. State Department has issued an alert to Americans in 14 countries, including Qatar, to depart now. But Jennifer says with Qatar's airspace closed and their government ordering their citizens to shelter in place, departing the country is simply impossible.
They're just sitting ducks. There's nothing they can do. We need someone to come in and get them. They are trapped without a bunker in Roslavan. They have no way to get out.
Jennifer adds her husband and his co-workers have received no help or information from American officials, leaving this family, at least for now, on opposite sides of the world.
He was supposed to be home this week. The kids are ready for him to be home. We're at a point now where we don't really know what to say to them.